since the last time we talked, you got 2 like really important positions.
Yeah.
Let me write down the time code so that I know where to cut.
Yeah, so this is part 2.
Yeah, so this is part 2. So the other job that you got was at the air pollution
analyst. Yes, I'm an analyst for the Imperial County Air Pollution Control District. It's I just got that end of November. So November, December, January, February, 3-4 months in. It's been a very big learning experience and curve, just the same as the school board. I come from the area agency. I came from the Area Agency on Aging, nonprofits for seniors, to now air quality issues throughout the valley. Obviously, our valley has some air quality issues, but there's a lot of good work. And part of my job is to inform the community, engage the community, and let them know our story and the work that's being done. A lot of stuff's being done. I don't think people realize, how things have changed. I know on one post, I think it was Mandy said, we're the only place in California where we allow field burning. We're not. There are several other counties that allow it. It's legal. They can only burn on certain days, and meteorological effects, the temperature, the wind, it's all taken to science behind it that I'm not too familiar. And I tell people, I'm in the air district, but I'm not involved in the enforcement, in the science, in the meteorological, all that. I'm kind of just, I help out, I engage community, a networking and collaboration, and kind of like a PR in a way. And so I'm not too familiar with that, but I can always get you connected with those who are. But there's a science behind when you can burn on certain days and whatnot. And not only that, field burning has decreased dramatically in the last 10 years. So, but there's a thing going on, the 10-year challenge, right? Remember that?
Yeah.
So I was going to do that with ours, showing graphs. I never got to it though, but I pulled up from 2017 to 2007. And the number of acres burned in the county. And since 2007 to 2017, the number of acres burned was decreased by about 60 to 70%. A very big decrease. And you see it now. I remember being little, going to Calexico. You see every time it'd always be a field burning.
Yeah.
Now it's very rare.
I never noticed that, but it's true.
I can remember seeing the fire and flames and just right by, and there's been so much efforts to curb that, whether through incentives, whether through minimizing, and there's going to be even more. They're in the talks right now of revising a policy to increase the radius from 1.5 miles to 2, and in regards to decrease the radius. You can for a 2-mile radius to a 1.5 mile radius, and how that could affect, and just taking more into consideration and focusing more, prioritizing smaller burns. So rather than, if we get 5 people wanting to burn on this burn day, we're going to prioritize the smaller burns, and so that's going to kind of that allows less smoke, right? Makes just sense. Someone's over 10 acres is going to cost more than 5 acres, and we're going to let the 5 acre burn first before that. So kind of okay, then, so there's more measures, but the decrease has been crazy. And that was going on before, obviously 2017, I wasn't even there, and that decrease. And so part of my, job is to tell those things, and even, along the border, and there's been a lot of issues. I mean, articles about the air quality in New York Times, LA Times. That's a good thing. I don't mind.
People were talking about there was an article on the LA Times, and they were kind of saying oh, that's a negative, but I saw it as a positive in the sense that when somebody else notices the potential we have, it's kind of like our job now to say kind of prove them right that we do have this potential.
Or say we need help.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with just saying, hey, we need help.
But and the thing is we've been put on the national spotlight, so take advantage.
It's about time. We talked about so much, we're ignored, no one cares about us, and then when we do get it, we're like, how dare you? You can't have it both ways. And so, and my boss or the APCO director is the same way. We see the net people that article about their quality. Good. We need the attention. We've been trying to get it for so long that when we do get it, we shouldn't shun away from it or hide from it. And And so yeah, we welcome it. I've reached out to those reporters. I've reached out to several reporters from not just locally but nationally. Just say, hey, this. I don't see why you wouldn't want to focus on our area. Where California is Mexico, it's a border. That's a prime spot for stories, and we're very unique. We're a small community next to a metropolis of 1 million people.
Yeah.
It's not San Diego, Tijuana, big city, or Texas. No, who cares about Texas? Or Arizona? Like, that's not exciting. But Southern California, and to see two contrasts from a small ag community to a bustling city, that is very unique and exciting, and a potential for so many stories. And so I go kind of where we were sharing in that I would like to see tourism boom in Mexicali. Mexicali has so much to offer, and it doesn't help doesn't help them, and affects their money when there's articles about the environment. I guess you can say, oh, but you just said you welcome it. I do welcome it, but they need to start. If we can empower the people in Mexicali to put pressure on government to impose regulations. So a lot of Mexico has not a lot of regulations. California, they say it's way too regulated. Mexico has no regulations. So they need to do more. And if they can start doing that, they can change the whole narrative. Because right now, I think people see Mexicali, Google it, they see New River, they see when they have a baseball stadium that's packed all the time, sports, basketball, concert events, Shakira, Mark Anthony, have Ricky Martin have all been. They have a nightlife of clubs, of recreation. They have casinos. They have great restaurants. They have, history, the Chinese, the people there, and the history behind that, all right there. And a lot of people, I think, are afraid, are fearful of Mexico, regardless.
Yeah.
And why not utilize Calexico as, hey, you can visit Mexicali and then stay the night in the security of America. Whether that's, well, that's a misconception. No, we're secure. But, you can spend the night in the smallest town, get that small comfort, and then visit Mexico and boom that tourism. There's a group in San Diego called Turista Libre, and they do tours, and it's a very unique thing they do. They tour, and they have packages. You can tour the wall, the border, see the wall. You can, or you can do a bar hop, or you can do a history. You can do it on, and then I googled Mexican. I didn't see anything like that.
I think for a while Mexicali had that where they would take you on a this party bus and
but it wasn't exciting. Like I'm saying, it has to be this Turista Libre is really, it's like it just, you go on and you feel like an Instagram, like you feel like it's one of those in like just a modern promotion of it. It's not this it's not, you can tell when when people who may not be hip make something. Promotion is so different now.
Yeah.
Promotion is so crazy different. And I bring up Firefest, and I brought it up early, and how these guys utilizing a video and utilizing promotion got people to take a chance to just drop everything and go because, that looks cool.
Yeah, I was watching Philip DeFranco, and he's saying that, like promotional, like commercials and stuff like that is going down on TV. They're investing more in like digital media, like Instagram and all these places that, it's crazy how it's, I think we would say a lot, where like, TV is going out, and like YouTube and all these other platforms are gonna, and like you kind of see now where it is happening. You
can have your commercial run 1 million times and get a certain amount of people. You can have one person say, come to Mexico, go to Mexico, and boom. Like, it's influence, it's marketing, it's branding, it's perception. It's just a very new game in regards to promotion. I think Mexicali needs that. I think Mexicali needs something, just a different way, right, of promotion, because it has it all.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, Mexicali is the capital of Baja California, and yet everybody, like, if you ask people, like, they're gonna say Tijuana is because it's a lot more popular, more,
And Tijuana's tourism has been booming lately. Mexicali has as well. One thing we didn't forget about the tourism aspect is the medical tourism. The dentistry, the surgery, the the medicine, the pharmaceutical. It's that aspect as well. But Tijuana's tourism has been booming despite the increase in homicide. So if Tijuana can get people to go, and even though thousands of people are getting murdered every year, why not Mexicali? Like, why not?
Maybe we need to murder more people.
I don't know, man. Or maybe that, going back to those articles about homicide, brought attention.
No, and the thing is that, it's Mexican, like, probably on a daily basis, you see, like, if you look at the news, like, you'll see, like, somebody trying to get kidnapped.
Oh, well, they did. So, I just read an article last night how, I've been staying up late trying to create this proposal. The same I'm telling you, I want to present to the state. How Tijuana held a press conference to celebrate or highlight the fact that there was not a homicide in 12 hours. In a 12-hour span, there was not a homicide, so they held a press conference. That's how crazy it is. Now, a lot of homicides are, in Mexicali, they say, well, the homicides increased in Mexicali. It's more, and they say, if you don't sell drugs in Mexico, you're probably going to die from old age. More than likely. Like, that's just, it's a lot of homicides, although are drug-related. The same fact that should scare away people, but it's not. And they're booming. And we need to capitalize on that. Mexicali they've redid the border. When you walk, it looks like an airport. It's clean. It's nice. I think the time is right to really change the image and change. And I think, so Mexico needs regulations. The American government can keep, for the last 10 years, has been telling Mexico, do this. There's tension whenever government, locally, if our city if Brawley told Calexico to do something, there's going to be...
Yeah, you're going to tell me what to do.
Yeah, so can you imagine from two countries? But if you can empower the people from the tourism business, the business industry, the tourism, the people, let them know, hey, these environmental issues or lack of promotion is affecting your money, that's going to empower them to then pressure the government into regulations. Say, hey, you need to impose these regulations because you're affecting our money, you're affecting our tourism, you're affecting our perception. And so, something like I've been the last week and a half. No joke. My last 2 weekends, I've been staying up till 1, 2 in the morning on the weekends, just going through, really creating a paper. I feel like I'm back in college again, just drafting this paper and presenting it. And if it doesn't go anywhere, at least those state officials can be like, hey, this guy, trying, or at least this guy's trying a different. But I think if you've been doing something for 10 years and the progress has been slow, maybe just change it up a bit. And I think empowering businesses, create a pressure group via public-private partnership, whereas the government, the CARB, or the public sector from California or Mexico can put in some money to change the branding and change the marketing, and have a pressure a business group to help guide it and facilitate it. It could be a really impactful way to help get those regulations imposed, because mainly industry, right, in Mexicali, that's causing some of the air quality issues, and when there's no
so that's the biggest factor in terms of
it's a lot. So in Mexico, you got the unpaved roads, which is a huge thing. You have the idling cars. You have industry, and you also have field burning. So you think going back to saying, field burning here, it's very strictly regulated. Where in Mexico, there's no regulations on field burning. They can burn at night. They can burn whenever they want. And you see it so that when you wake up in the morning and you see a dark cloud, it's more than likely from a burning field. They burned it at night, and the inversion layer, has dropped or lifted, and it just hangs there.
Yeah, and when I go to work, because I take 98, so it's there's a field there, and I can see all the way to Mexicali. So you see that.
Yeah,
that layer of smoke.
And so it's and some of that stuff just takes, like I said, it's going to take regulation. Like regardless, it's just going to take.
Do you feel that your your economical status, whether you're somebody that's really poor and you're burning your trash and out in an ejido, or throwing your sewage because there's no sewage, or whether you're like that oil, baron, and that this is there enough? Can you impact those people to say all right?
So Mexico has done some really good work though lately. They have addressed some of the tire burnings and the fireworks and the wood burning. So they've actually started fining people, and if they catch you burning, when you're not supposed to, or things you're not supposed to. They've actually, I think they issued like 500 fines last year, which is more than ever. But going back to the fields and the industry, that's kind of where, because it's kind of, in Mexico, it's been who takes responsibility, the state, the city, the federal. There's not really a stream like here. You know, we are under the APCD is under the Cal EPA, which is is under CARB, California Resources Board, and the California Resources Board under the California Environmental Protection Agency. The California Environmental Protection Agency is under the EPA, but they all know, okay, you monitor this, you're going to monitor this, you're going to monitor this, and we monitor this. It's just a very streamlined, whereas in Mexico, it's not really as streamlined. They kind of, aren't you? No, there's nothing really in place. And so we need that. We need some more streamlined. We need some more, policies. We need more going back to regular, just things written to understand, make it easy as possible. And what we've been trying to do somewhat is, this is what we're doing. Instead of saying you do this is what we're doing. This is what you can do to implement it, right? But it takes resources. It takes time.
Do you think our current administration helps with the fact
the relationship? Probably not. But I think California has a great relationship with Mexico. I know our governor. I know our assembly member. I know our valley. But
I mean, as a country, like, are we? You know, when our president says we're way too regulated and you know wants to take all these regulations away, when he puts people in the EPA that were oil.
Well, I think California. I think we are ahead of the game when it comes to being green. I think no matter who's in there. I think we're very fortunate. I honestly don't know other parts of the country. I'm sure it has negatively affected the environment. But I know in California, I think California has been so ahead of the curve in regards to environmental policy and change that no matter what administration is in there, they're going to be playing catch up, right? I think California kind of sets a model for other states. When you look at what some of the things California has done, it's ahead of the game, you know, and so I don't think it affects too much. I think maybe at the upper level, like the Cal EPA, and maybe the California Research, but I know down here at the local level, no. I think maybe I don't think so. I don't know. I haven't. I don't know. I can't speak for some of my coworkers and whatnot, but I don't feel.
Can you explain to us what AB 617 is?
So Assembly Bill 617 is this really cool bill, and that Eduardo Garcia helped co-sign, a co-author, and it selected 10 communities throughout California where maybe bad economics or just bad air quality, and kind of facilitate more discussion and more action. So we're one of the 10 selected communities to focus on the Calexico, Heber, El Centro corridor, so that area. Now, we created a committee, a steering committee. We're having meetings on how to reduce some of our emissions and better air quality. But I think the one very interesting and cool aspect of what this bill has done, it brings industry, it brings environmental justice groups, it brings public groups like the APCD, all in the same room, all at the same table. So rather than, listen, being in the public sector is confusing sometimes. What meeting? Oh, we got to go to this meeting. Got to go. Who did I talk to? Who did this, that? Whereas AB 607, you're going to get aggregate. You're going to get agriculture. You're going to get transportation or businesses. You're going to get just community residents. You're going to get your environmental justice groups, the Comité Cívico del Valle. You're going to get the Air Pollution Control District, all at the same table talking how do we better our air. And so I read all the blueprint, I read all the semantics of it, but it wasn't until the last meeting where I'm seeing someone who works in like the aggregate industry and gravel and asphalt bring up an issue, and then someone in livestock is talking about an issue, and they got the co-chairs, the APCD and the Comité Cívico del Valle also putting their input. This is the point of this. This was to bring all of us. This was to facilitate discussion, to not give an excuse of, well, I didn't know I didn't get my opportunity. No, you were all here we're all going to address it. We're all going to talk about it, and we're all going to include everyone. So that's very exciting. And although it is only a Central Calexico Hebrew corridor, we'd like to expand it because going back to the valley is all one, you know.
Yeah.
But that's just the first selection. There's going to be quite a few monies to implement projects. And so we're the phase of just getting our first 5 steps. It's a 14-element plan. We got the first 5, which is just kind of establish committee, information, bylaws. It's kind of just a pre-work. So now 28th is the deadline for those first 5 elements. Once those are in place, we'll actually start really big discussion on projects and meaningful projects. Now, the valley has pretty good air in regards to when you think about it. With ag being low, there's no industry really. The valley has pretty good air quality. And unfortunately, we have Mexicali. They are doing their things though to help it. So it's tough when things are out of our control that are making us not be in attainment. So the valley is not in attainment at federal levels, but and this is in the implementation plan. It's but for Mexicali. So if we didn't have Mexicali, we would have good air.
Yeah.
That's it written. But for it's a but for excluded. If it wasn't for Mexicali, we would have good air. You could take every industry. The valley could empty out tomorrow. Everyone could just leave, get up and leave, and we still wouldn't be in attainment because of Mexicali. Like that's just plain and simple. I know, but we can still do better on our side, right? We can still make efforts to improve, whether it's paving roads, whether it's ensuring people don't off-road where they're not supposed to. That's a huge plays a huge factor. It's kind of off-roading because when they off-road in the sands or the dirt, it's a PM 2.5, the fine particulates, which are so fine they get to your bloodstream. They can when you breathe them in, they enter that blood barrier. So we can still do our part, right? But we also, like I said, kind of have taken consideration that Mexico plays a huge part. They're making their efforts, and we have to help them facilitate more regulations and more actions, and we have to support that. And I think that's going back to that tourism aspect. What better way to help them that by empowering them? Because like I said, the Mexico government and those officials, they are going to, like I said, when someone from the outside tries to tell you what to do, there's some backlash. But if someone from the inside, your own people, are telling you what to do or putting that pressure, you have to listen. Yeah. And so, I feel like my idea is a really good idea. It's going to take so much work. It's like I said, it might be a pipe dream. But I think you see that the empowerment of people, right? When you empower people, you don't have to tell them what to do. It's like you're giving them that freedom to make the right decisions. And I'm huge on that. I don't want to tell anyone what to do. I want to give them the resources and the abilities to make that decision on their own. Maybe it's from a student, like seeing a student, right? I don't want to tell a student what to do, but I can help them make that right decision. Yeah. So,
but in terms of like the New River and Salton Sea, like, because those are tied together, right? Like, all that crap from the New River is going down to Salton Sea.
So Salton Sea obviously getting a lot of attention. The IAD's done a lot of projects to mitigate some of the area, the exposed playa. We're hopeful that Dianne Feinstein supported the provisions in the Farm Bill to bring monies down to fund, I think, $200 million to fund projects that gets allocated. That's another thing that's getting attention, right? And that needs to be addressed. Cause that's the north end. I think we're going to see more action. I think the valley it's popping right now. Like, I feel like there's something building here in this valley in regards to attention, in regards to action, in regards to I just feel like there's something's going on, and I feel it. And I think it's only a matter of time before we start seeing real, actions take place, real projects. But yeah, IAD has done a lot in regards to, not following the ground, but building ridges. Like I can't think of the name, but it's like a ridge. So when the wind blows, it helps stop it. Like within like 500 feet, it stops the wind. Like it helps it, and surfactants to help stabilize the ground. And also foliage to help, with the wind. You put a plant there, it's not as much exposed land. But going back to, a lot of people have been off-roading near the Salton Sea, and that throws off everything. So they'll spray an area, or they'll build an area with just ridges that help slow this wind, and it creates this layer.
I lost the video, but that's fine.
It creates this layer, but then you have these off-roaders who will just go and just expose it. Because you walk somewhere and you see like a crust, right? And that's what we want. We want a nice crust over a lot of the land, because it helps just keep everything down. But then when you step on it, it exposes it, and it just clips everything. And so there's a lot of, we're trying to really work with the sheriffs, or we're trying to really work with the Bureau of Land to help make more enforcement on off-roading. And it's because that just disturbs the land. It's crazy how the land will heal, right? You can talk about this crust, or with this rain, it's going to bring a layer and kind of pull everything down, and you allow the land to heal naturally. But then you have an ATV, you have a motorhome just comes right over it, and it just disturbs the whole environment and exposes everything, kicks everything up in the air.
Yeah.
And so we're really going to start taking measures to decrease that.
Trying to see it.
I think we've got to wrap this up. My fiance just has to go to work right now.
Okay, so I mean, that's good. That was a half an hour. Those the second part was half an hour.
Yeah, no, and I want to come back when I get this draft and proposal. Like I said, I'm cranking this thing out to present to this day. And I made a presentation. One thing I do want to talk about in regards locally to air is I'd like, and I'm in the process of discussing, is creating a mascot. So I want to address, I want to bring air quality, environmental issues as young as possible to our students. I think you get them involved and aware. It helps.
Kind of like Dippy Duck.
Exactly, like Dippy Duck is an icon.
Yeah.
Dippy Duck is a straight up icon. Like everyone knows him. My parents, I know my daughter. Like that is an icon, and have something similar for air quality, a mascot. And I've reached out to Dave Garcia. He's the cartoon artist. To help talks with that. He's actually went to our AB 617 meeting to just see what's going on, and I want to help get those discussions going. But I want to create a mascot and build. I think I feel like the biggest impact sometimes are the ones that are indirectly, right? How do you get people to empower them? You indirectly get a mascot to, bring attention. And the best thing to do is get people to do something that they didn't know they wanted or needed to do. And I'm all for any ways to do that. It sometimes means thinking outside the box or just being creative. That's fine. But I'm all for, like you said, that indirect way of influencing people.
That's a good idea. It's a good idea. So if you have any ideas for a mascot, shoot them out to Gil. No. But thank you. I know you need to go, but thank you. We could sit here and talk for days.
Probably not. My fiance on the phone. She's gonna like, why it took you so long? So no, I'm kidding. Thank you. I'm gonna take this call, and I appreciate everything you're doing, man. Keep it up.
Thank you. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for listening. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.